Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So according to Boxing Scene, Canelo Alvarez will face Avni Yildirim on the 27th of February. According to reports, this fight's going to go down in Miami at the Hard Rock Stadium. So there we are. Canelo is going to fight Avni Yildirim in his next fight. Also, this fight is going to be on Dazn. Canelo Alvarez has signed a one-fight deal with Matchroom to broadcast this fight and promote this fight. Of course, Avni Yildirim is the WBC mandatory at 168. Why he's getting another crack at that title, God only knows. I mean, this is a guy who made Chris Eubank Jr. look like a prime Julian Jackson. Do you know what I mean? So Avni Yildirim, he is what he is. I would describe him as a European level fighter. He's a come forward guy, likes to come forwards behind that high guard, got a good hard jab, and he'll try and walk you down and apply pressure. His style is pretty basic, and against someone like Canelo, let's be honest, this guy is going to get pieced up. And yeah, to me this fight is very unsatisfactory. The only real positive for me is that this fight is taking place in February, very soon after he beat Callum Smith. So he's getting this out of the way early, and according to a lot of reports online, Canelo will still fight in May against somebody more substantial, but nevertheless, just like everybody with a pair of working eyes, I'm really not looking forward to this fight whatsoever. Avni Yildirim, as we know, has no chance whatsoever. Canelo Alvarez, his arm could fall off in this fight, and he'll still get beaten. In my opinion, he's just got no chance whatsoever in this one. I know people will say, well, it's a mandatory. Canelo has to take this fight if he wants to keep his belt. He wants to become undisputed, and in order to do that, you have to satisfy your mandatories. I would totally accept that if Canelo himself was consistent with this narrative, but fact of the matter is, he hasn't been. He's vacated belts when he's not liked the mandatory. For example, Derevyanchenko with the IBF. Or Gennady Golovkin when the WBC first ordered that fight. He's vacated belts in the past when he's not liked the mandatory. So this fight to me just seems a bit opportunistic. It's an easy touch, he's going to get paid extremely well. It's basically a cherry pick, let's be honest about it. And like I said, if Canelo was one of these guys who historically, no matter what type of opponent, always took care of his mandatory, I would accept this fight no problem whatsoever. I wouldn't have an issue with it. But history tells us when Canelo is forced to do something by the sanctioning bodies which he doesn't like, he'll just vacate the titles. He's got previous for this. So that's why I'm not really accepting it now. It's all well and good saying, well, Canelo now wants to be undisputed at 168. Maybe he's had a change of heart, etc. Well, he said he wanted to clean out 160 as well, and that never happened. Like I said, in most circumstances, I would accept this sort of fight, but with Canelo's history, I kind of find it hard, to be honest with you. Let's be honest, if the WBC ordered Canelo to fight someone like David Benavidez, for example, do you think he would still take that mandatory fight and go along with the same narrative? I'm not entirely sure, based on his history. So yeah, you know, this fight is what it is. It's a mark-in-time fight, it's a cash grab, and it's an easy fight against an extremely limited opponent in Avni Yildirim. We all know the result beforehand. Avni Yildirim is not going to win a second, and he'll more than likely get knocked out extremely quickly, like he did against Eubank Jr. I would be extremely shocked if Avni Yildirim makes this remotely competitive, like genuinely. Even if he's improved a little bit, it's not going to be enough to face Canelo. He is just levels and levels below, and let's be honest, shouldn't really be in the ring with Canelo Alvarez at this stage. And yeah, I see it as a poor fight ultimately, but I guess from Eddie Hearn's perspective, he's going to see it as a bit of a coup. You know, getting Canelo to fight on Dazn, that's good for him. And maybe this developing relationship with Eddie Hearn, maybe that will give us a fight with Billy Joe Saunders in May. That's a fight in which I actually do have an interest in for Canelo Alvarez. But yeah, this Avni Yildirim fight, not for me personally. Don't get me wrong, I'll still watch it. I do like seeing Canelo fight, but I'm not really expecting much from it. You know, if you kind of accept the whole mandatory angle from Canelo, I'm not going to argue with you. It is what it is. I just see it differently in this circumstance. But anyway, share your thoughts below. It's been your guy Delboy. Peace.